Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. Sanjaya Uvacha Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Budham Durjadhanastada Acharya Upashamgamya Raja Bachanam Abravit Pashvaitan Pandaputranam Acharya Mahatemichamum Budham Drupadaputrena Taba Shishyena Dhimata Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yujudhana Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatah Drishtaketuscha Kitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha Yudhamanuscha Vikranta Uttamojascha Viryavan Saubhadra Daupade Ascha Sarva Eva Maharatha Ashmakam tu Vishishtae Tanni Bodhadijottama Nayaka Mama Sainyasya Sangarthantan Brabhimite Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjaya Ashwathama Vikarnascha Somadatti Jayadratha Annecha Bahava Shura Madarte Takta Jivitaha Nana Shastra Praharana Sarve Yuddha Visharadaha Aparyaptam Tadashmakam Balam Bhishma Bhirakshitam Paryaptam Tidame Tesham Balam Bhima Bhirakshitam. Here we find Dhritarashtra. The chapter name, as we last time we said, those who have attended, Arjuna Bishada Yoga. Arjuna is the name of the person, Bishada, melancholy, and distress. Yoga means union. Now, when we are in melancholy, in distress, we can be united with God. That's also a path. But we have to surrender. Ultimately, we will see that Arjuna is surrendering at the feet of the God. So, Bishada, that melancholy, is coming in this context in this way. There is a Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, he was the he was the son of, his wife was the Gandhari, and he was blind. And I am not going in the details because you know about this Dhritarashtra. Physically he was blind. But at the same time, if we try to see the metaphorically, and that also, metaphorically also, we can say he is blind because he is ignorant. When a person is ignorant about this world, and this world is going to change, but even then we always think that this is mine, this is going to continue, I am going to be here eternally. Ignorance. I am here for only a limited period of time, a few years. Then whoever I may be, I am going to die, I am going to change. So this is the knowledge. If I cannot keep that idea within my mind, I am ignorant. I may be a great scientist, I may be a many positions I may be holding in this world, but this truth that this world is changing, if it is not in my mind, my behavior will be attached to this world. So that's why the Dhritarashtra, the first question that he is asking, Mamuka Pandava. So what is the ignorance? Me and mine. Problem is with the me and mine, and thy and thine. It is you and yours. It is me and mine. So that is the attachment. He said Mamuka. Then Pandava. Pandava is his brother. Pandu was his brother. This Dhritarashtra, he was ignorant in that way. Then ultimately he also died a very painful death. He and his wife, both of them, they died in a forest fire. After the Great War, they retired in the forest and something happened, they died. So this is the Dhritarashtra, we think in that way. Then the Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre. Here also, always two different meaning. One is externally, another is internally, spiritually. The externally, the place where they assembled to fight the Great War, Kurukshetra. It is little away from the Delhi, a few 100 miles, I think. People go over there. That's a place that was holy because many people, they organized some yajnas over there. Ritualistic things happened over there. In the different Puranas, it mentioned. Another thing is, Kuru means Indriya. Kuru means Karana. Karana means the Indriyas. Indriya means the senses. Chakshu, Karna, Nashika, Jivva, Tak. This eye, this ear, this nose, this skin and the tongue. These are the five that constantly getting so much of information from this external world. Rupa, Rasa, Sabda, Sparsha, Gandha. The smell and the touch and the sight and the word, everything is bringing the information inside the mind. So this Karana, this is the Indriya. And what is the Kshetra? My mind. So Kuru, that word means my senses. And the Kshetra is my mind. So what is the Kurukshetra? My mind. What is going on there? Struggle. What is the struggle? Good and bad. Every moment, everything, you will see that whenever you are going to do something bad, subconscious mind, your subconscious mind will promote, will say, don't do this. But we don't listen to that. That is why the war between the Duryodhana and the Yudhishthira, it's going on. So that is, again, it says the Kurukshetra. We have, the Kurukshetra means the the gross body and the subtle body. The gross body and the subtle body means they call it Sukshma Sharira. And there is another causal body, Karana Sharira. About that we are not very much aware, but that is very important. So this gross body and subtle body constantly creating problem in my mind. So here someone is coming to guide us. Who is that? Sanjaya. The Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya is telling. Who is the Sanjaya? Again, is a very good person, we know, but the meaning of the word Sanjaya, one who has conquered his senses. Lord Buddha is telling, one person may conquer the whole world, but I don't consider him as a conqueror. I consider him as a conqueror who has conquered his own senses. It's so difficult to conquer the senses. Each and every one of us, we know, right from a child to elderly person, we know it's so difficult. The person who has conquered the senses is Sanjaya. And this Sanjaya, he has a Dibba Drishti, he can see. And that is why he is going on telling. And how he is telling? Without any attachment. Exactly whatever he is saying, he is telling it, narrating it. But at the same time, he is giving some hint for the Dhritarashtra and for us to understand the real import of this. The Sanjaya, he is telling, Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Budham Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasamgamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. He is using the word Raja, the king. But Duryodhana was not king. Dhritarashtra was the king. But Dhritarashtra was not taking the decision. King is supposed to take the decision. Here, he is giving the pinch to Dhritarashtra. You call yourself king, but your son actually ruling. He is taking the decision. He is the master. So don't take it otherwise. Just for the fun of it. A few years before, one of our Prime Minister, he was constantly, all people used to tell about him. So, somebody is pulling the string and he is using his finger, his word. So one person who is the leader, he must be the leader, good or bad. Once I am leading, I am leading. So that is called leader. That is called king. King has to take the responsibility. Afterwards, the history will judge, good or bad. But I will lead. Dhritarashtra is not like that. Because he is thinking something, telling something, behaving some other thing. So hypocrisy. And that is why Swami Vivekananda once said, I can stand everything but hypocrisy. Come and state, where say, I am like this, do you like me? It's okay. But the hypocrisy, all the nations which was ruled by somebody else, some other people, they were subjugated for a long time, lost their originality, and they become hypocrites. All the slavish mentality means hypocrisy. I do not know why the very powerful king like Dhritarashtra, he was very powerful. They say he was having in both the hands the power of hundreds of elephants. Then why he was behaving like this? So Sanjaya, he is using the word Raja with his son Duryodhana, and he is telling Drishtva tu Pandavanikam, by seeing the Pandavas, Budham Duryodhanastada. He has making the Budha. Budha means arranging the soldiers in such a way. You know, previously they used to arrange the soldiers because face-to-face fighting, Nowadays also there's a lot of face-to-face fighting. And in our country, this guerrilla warfare was introduced, they say, mostly by Shivaji Maharaj. Because he understood that he won't be able to fight with the Mughal because there's a lot of people, lot of strength is very strong. So he was fighting it. So that was different. But previously they used to fight face to face, and there they used to arrange the things in such a wonderful way. And here they say Anika, the word we will find in the next Anika. Pashvaitan Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Budham Drupadaputrena Tava Shishena Dhimata. Now he is telling this Duryodhana, he has gone down and he is going to Drona. And he is going to Drona not to the leader of that particular day, and that was Bhishma. Why? To some extent to insult the Bhishma. Bhishma was standing by the side of Drona. And who was Drona? He was Acharya. He was teaching. What he was teaching? Archery and all this, the warfare. Now he was a Brahmana. Again, he has come to this. Earning money by teaching this is insulting for a Brahmana. So all these things are coming in only one or two words. The psychological treatment. He is going and telling him, insulting the Bhishma. Why? He was not believing actually. Bhishma. Though Bhishma was giving everything for him, he committed so much of mistakes. That's why the Krishna said, you can kill him. He has committed mistakes, sin, by supporting the cause of the Duryodhana. But anyway, here again he said, Tava Shishena Dhimata. Here, who is the Shishya? Drishtadrumna, the son of Drupada. Drupada was his friend. Drona's friend was Drupada. And Drishtadumna was his son. I mean the Drupada's son. He was the student of Drona. And now the Shishya is there against you. Tava Shishyena. He is giving a pinch to the teacher. So you have to be careful because your Shishya, your student is over there. So look at this. When this type of people who do not believe others because they do not believe themselves. And that's why when they have come to fight for him, to sacrifice for him, even then he is not believing. So, Pashvaitan Panduputranam, the children of the Pandu, they are affectionate to you because you like them so much. So, he is giving a caution, I am keeping an eye on you. And at the same time, as if he is giving the report, before the war, every country they will be trying to get the information about the other countries, how many soldiers are there, what are the things they are carrying, how they are coming, all these things, the secretly here, as if he is giving the report, and that fashion he is doing it. But instead of going to that leader of that particular day, Bhishma, he went to Drona. Pashvaitan Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Budham Drupadaputrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Atra, here, Shura, Maheshwasa, they are great archers, all here. Bhimarjuna Sama Yudhi, Bhima Arjuna, Nakul, Sahadev, Yudhishthir, he is not counting them. The two great persons is Bhima and Arjuna. He never could fight with the Bhima, and Arjuna, of course, was always ahead of him. So he is mentioning about these two, and that proves that psychologically he was all the time thinking, will I be able to be successful in this? Because he remembered alone Arjuna when they went to steal all the Godhana, the cows, Arjuna alone came and fought with all these people. Drona was there and Bhishma was there. All these people were there. Alone he fought. You know the story of the Mahabharata. Again this Arjuna, not with that, along with him Bhima. And then all others are there. Yujudhana Viratascha, Drupadascha, Maharataha. This Purujit, Kunti, Bhogascha, the brothers of Kunti, these two, Purujit and Kunti Bhoga, Kunti Bhoja, these two are the brothers of Kunti. And then Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha. Narapungava means he is a very powerful, and this Shaibhya, Yudhishthir married his daughter Devika. So they are all related with these people. Yudha Manushcha Vikranta Uttamo Yascha Virijaban Saubhadrascha Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharataha. Saubhadra means Subhadra, her son. Who is that? Abhimanyu. So Abhimanyu was a great warrior. We know his story. And then he is mentioning Draupadeyascha, the children of Draupadi. Draupadi had 5 sons. Who are these Draupadis? Pratibimba, Stuta Soma, Shruta Karma, Shatanika, Shruta Sena. These 5 were the sons of Draupadi. So all they are there. And these two arranged, they are telling Maharatha. Now, here we find one is Pandava Anikam. Anika means a group of soldiers. Now we say battalion, and different type of names are there for the soldiers. One battalion means this many numbers of soldiers. And in that battalion, there will be this, all the group, whole thing is there. In those days also, the battalions were there. These two organized in this way, according to Shangadhara. Shangadhara, he is mentioning that in those days also they were having the battalions in different names. Let me tell you those. You can show that. The battalions and the numbers, very interesting. One is the chariot, then the soldiers sitting on the elephant and fighting, the cavalry, and the infantry. So these 4 groups in every battalion. The first is Patti. Patti means only one ratha, one chariot, and then under him 1 elephant, then 3 cavalry and 5 infantry. Then Senamukha, it is 30, 300, 3000. Then Gulma, 90, 900, 9000. Then Gana, 270, then 270 again, 2700, 27,000. Bahini, this word Bahini still used in our language. The Bahini means 810 the chariot, 810 elephant, 8100 cavalry, 81,000 this infantry. Then Pritana, 2430, 24,300 and 2,43,000. I am telling in the Indian way. 2,43,000. Chamu, 7,290, 72,900, and then 7,29,000 infantry. Anikini. This Anika Pandava Nikam. The Anikam means here he mentioned only one. What is that? 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephant, and 2,18,700 cavalry, 21,87,000 infantry. And then comes Akshohini. You know that Akshohini, when Duryodhana and Arjuna, they went to Krishna to invite him, then the Krishna said, you can take my Akshohini soldiers, and in other I am alone without any other arms or anything, I won't fight. So that Akshohini means 65,610 chariot, 65,610 elephant, and then 6 lakh. I think that way it is increasing. So that is called Akshohini Sena. So that is Buha. Buha means arranging in a different shape according to the Shukra and Vaishampayan Rananiti. This Buha means the way they used to arrange their soldier to fight with others. The first is Garuda. The soldiers will be arranged in a very special way, as if it is a bird, huge bird. Then is Rakshasa. The Rakshasa, a totally different places, different type of soldiers. You cannot understand who is coming from where. Then Shuchi, only in one line it will go. So many thousands of soldiers, millions of soldiers. But in one line they will go. Shuchi. Shakata, that means like a cart. And then Chakra, the round way. And then Padma, like a flower. And we know that Chakra Buha, they organized to kill Abhimanyu. The Chakra Buha means the one circle, next circle, next circle, next circle, it goes on and on. So if you have to go inside to pinpoint that particular place or the person you like to reach, you have to break so many circles. So obviously they knew all these things. Now suddenly I found in a newspaper somebody is telling this Mahabharata is nothing but a story. We do not consider it as a history. To one lady, one gentleman, they said it and it came in such a big way. So all these things are stories and so specific. So that we have to understand. And again now, Maharatha. Who is Maharatha? They used to call the Maharatha. We will see that nowadays also the soldiers, they are having 1 stir, 2 stirs, 3 stirs, and then they will be having so many things on their chest. Here Maharatha means one who alone could fight with 10,000 archers and was experienced in handling different weapons. He was Maharatha. Then come Atiratha, alone could fight with innumerable number of soldiers. Then Rathi, who could fight with 1,000 soldiers. And then Ardharatha, that means less than 1,000 soldiers. So that was the wonderful way they have given us this, how they used to fight. Here we see that how it is going on. Now this Drupada, etc., they are going on Drishtadumna, and after this up to the 10th sloka. This is aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam. It is two meaning. Aparyaptam, not sufficient, or maximum, lot. Aparyapta, we have aparyapta khadya. That means lot of food. Again, aparyapta, not sufficient. So in the both way, that meaning can be. And paryaptam, limited, or maybe sufficient. So whatever way you can understand, tidame tesham balam bhima virakshitam. He is giving this idea to him. Annecha bhava shura, etc. Then come ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagamabastitaha bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavanta sarva eva hi. The Duryodhana, he is reminding that the Gandharva and the Gogriha that were, and he is now asking all of them to protect Bhishma. It is an insult. When a warrior is a fighter, he is going into war. If some people are coming and protecting him, it's an insult for that warrior. Obviously, previously, the kings and the leaders, they used to lead from the front. Of course, nowadays, all our great leaders, they are leading from the back, and from where, nobody knows. So that is different. But in those days, Shirdartha Sardar, Swami Vivekananda used to say, Shirdartha Sardar, the one who was ready to cut his head first, he was the Sardar, he was the king, he was the leader. And afterwards it became Chhatradhara. You know, the Chhatra, previously our kings, afterwards, not at the time of Mahabharata, much afterwards, this system came. The king used to sit on the elephant to see all this, what is going on, because it's high, and one used to hold an umbrella on his head. And soldiers used to sometimes look at that umbrella, oh, the king is there, so they used to fight. But the moment the umbrella break, they will leave the fight and go. Maybe the king is still there, only the umbrella somehow. So Chhatra Bhanga, that word comes. Bhanga means break. So Chhatra means that umbrella has broken. That means we don't have the leader. Now everybody will run away. But the Europeans, they used to carry only the flag. Who is carrying the flag is not the important. Flag is the important. So they used to carry the flag. If somebody has fallen, some else will take the flag, and from different distance the people will see, the soldiers will see, our flag is still there, so we can fight. So that is the reason in many cases Indian kings, though they were capable to fight, could not fight, maybe just because of that. Chhatrabhanga. Because the opponents, they understood somehow if you can break that umbrella, whole thing is. So that is called Chhatrabhanga. So here we find they are protecting, asking all of them to protect the Bhishma. But it is an insult to Bhishma. And in a very subtle way, as if he is so much concerned about the Bhishma, he is asking them to protect him. To whom? All these people who were no compare with the Bhishma. So here from 11, again we will read a few slokas. Please. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagamabastitaha bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavanta sarva eva hi. So this is the characteristics of the very narrow-minded people. But the great people, what they do, they never pay any heed to that. They always sacrifice themselves. And though Bhishma was capable just to ask him to stop, but he didn't do that. Rather, he understood, if he do something like that, all the leaders, all the soldiers, they will break down. That's why to encourage them, tasya samayanayam harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha. Why Kuru vriddha? By age he was elderly, of course, but at the same time in experience. In experience also he knew what is going to happen. So Kuru vriddha pitamaha. Shimhanadam vinadvachai Shankham dagno pratapavan Tata shankharscha viriyascha Panavanaka gomukha Sahasai bhabhyahannanta Sashabdastumulo bhavat Tata shvete hayai yukte Mahate sandane stito Madhava pandavaschaiva Dibyo shankho pradaknatuhu. Here again, the Shvetvi Hayaya. Haya means horse. Sheta means white horses. In the Upanishad we find all our indriyas, they are compared as the horses. If you are controlling the horses, you can go a long distance using their power. But if you cannot control those horses, then they will destroy the whole thing. That's called, you have to control your senses. Haya, again, is the senses, and that is white. All the 5 white horses, that means Arjuna and the Sri Krishna, their senses were Shaktika. The white color is the symbol of Shaktika. So they were Shaktikas. So they also Dibyo Shakhno Pradaknatuhu, Shankho Pradaknatuhu. Shankha means the conch. In those days, the conch shell they used to blow, and that used to carry the messages. Panchayannam Hrishikesho Deva Dattam Dhanam Jayaha Pondram Dakhno Mahashankam Bhima Karma Brikodara Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthira Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosha Manipushpako. They are going on giving the name of the conches. That was very, very important. And at the same time, they are using the different words as a name, like Rishikesha, one who is the controller of the senses, the master of the senses. Rishikesha, like this. Dhananjaya, who collected lot of wealth because he was very powerful. So Dhananjaya is Arjuna. Like this it is going on. Kashyascha Parameshvasa Srikandi cha Maharatha. This Srikandi was Maharatha. But his Srikandi, again, that is the story all you know. The Bhishma, he knew that he is not actually a man. So that's why he never fought with that person. And Srikandi was born to kill Bhishma. And who knew it? Krishna. So he brought this Vikandi and kept him before. So all these stories that we know. He was Maharatha. Drishtadrumna Viratascha Shatakischa Parajita Drupado Draupadeyascha Sarvasha Prithivipate. The Prithivipate, they are all the kings of the world. So this way, they always, is a little exaggeration. If all are having, they are all the masters of the world. How many worlds? So you cannot ask like that. This should not be the question. Question means, that means each and every one was so powerful, they could be the king of the whole world. That is the way, that was the type of words they used to use. Sometimes you will find in the different stories of our Purana, my son fought with the king for 5,000 years. Maybe 5 hours he was fighting. But why 5,000? He was fighting so intensely as if one was fighting for the 5,000 years. So if we can take the meaning properly, we can understand the reality of the whole story. When they used to give the boon, Shataputra Janani Bhava, the 100, may you be the mother of the 100. It's not the 100, maybe one child, but as if the child is comparing with the 100. So this way they are also telling like this, the Sarvasha Prithivipate, Shobhadrascha Mahabahu, Shankam Daghno Prithak Prithak, Saghosha Dhartarashtranam, Hridayani Vedarayat. So look at it, all are not blowing the conches. The conches are blown by those who are really heroes. So those names are only mentioned. Others were shouting, beating the drum, or many other things. But only those who were given the conch shells, that's very, very important. But the sound was so much as if the children of Dhritarashtra, they lost their courage. Now, atha vyavasthitan drishtva dhartarashtran kapiddaja pravritre shastra sampate dhanur uddamma pandava. Pandava means the Arjuna, the son of Pandu. He took his bow and arrow and he was ready to fight, and then he said, and his flag was Kapit Dajaha. It was marked by the symbol of Kapi, means Mahavir, Hanumanji. That means all power was with him. But why they are mentioning like this? The Kapit Dhaja means the Mahavira, he became the symbol. And he took his bow and arrow, and whole world knew the Arjuna's bow and arrow so powerful. And he, like a hero, he said, let me go and see who has come to die. He is telling over here, Rishikesham tada vakyam idam aho mahipate Arjuna uvacha Shenayo ubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya mechuta. This is the 21 sloka, is one line. Shenaya ubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya me Achyuta. Achyuta is Krishna. Why Achyuta? He never deviates from the truth. And we, each and every one of us, we are changing. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, vipakshiyate, mriyate. The 6 changes. We born, we grow, we sustain, then we decay, and then ultimately we die. But Achyuta, he is beyond all this. So that's why this name was used, the Achyuta. Senayor Ubhayor Madhye, in between the two, the erring soldiers placed my chariot. I like to see who has come to support me and who has come to fight with me. And Arjuna was confident that he alone is going to kill them. Yavadetan niriksheham yaddu kaman abhastitan kaimaya sahayodhyapyam asmin ranasamuddame. For those who are warriors, Kshatriyas, for them this type of war means is a grand function. So with great joy they have come to show their might. So here he is telling, let me see who has come and joined with me. And Senaya Ubhayar Madhye, then afterwards, Yatsa Kaman Abhiksheham Ya Etyatra Samagataha Ya Ete Atra Samagataha, who have assembled over here now. Dhartarashtrasya Durbuddhe Yuddhe Priyachikitsavaha. Now for the Arjuna, this war, the Yuddha, is a grand festival. He is going to enjoy it. And he was telling these people who are supporting the Duryodhana, Dhartarashtrasya, Durbuddhe. Durbuddhi means they are less intelligent. They could not understand that we are going to win the fight, win the game, win the war. They could come to us. But rather, these ill-fated people, they are supporting them and they are going to die. So he was very confident. But then suddenly everything changed. Sanjay Uvacha Eva Mukta Rishikesho Gura Keshena Bharata. Arjuna was not ordinary person. He was Gura Kesha. What is Gura Kesha? One who conquered the sleep. That means he was always energetic. So that is Gura Kesha. He was not ordinary person. Why all these words they are using? Afterwards we will understand. Eva Mukta Rishi Kesho Gura Keshena Bharata Senaya Ubhayar Madhye Sthapa Itva Rathottamam Bhishma Drona Pramukhata Sarve Shamcha Mahikshitam Ubacha Parthapashvaitan Samovetan Kuruniti. Friends, we will close over here today, this 25th sloka. And then why suddenly he changed? Up to 24th sloka, he was so eager to fight, and the one who never know what is sleep. I need the resting. No. He was so much full of energy. And now suddenly he broke his heart. Why? That answer in the next class we will see. Now, if you have any question, we can answer that, try to answer for 1 or 2 minutes. Then finally, we will again chant the pranam mantra and close. If you have any question? Yeah.
Is there any significance for Sanjay to see the war? Why was he able to see?
Sanjaya, he is narrating the war. That is because Dhritarashtra was blind. The Vyasa, he wanted to give him divine sight so that he himself could see. He said, no, I don't want. Because within the heart he knew that his children are going to die in this war. That he knew. So that's why he asked someone else, hoping against hope, as we say, to think that maybe that my children, leaded by the Duryodhana, they will win. So the Dibba Drishti was given to Sanjaya. So Sanjaya was narrating. Now we don't need Dibba Drishti because all the cameras are there. Whenever there is a war and all these CNN, etc., only you have to pay little money, so they will bring all the whole war in your, and you can go and see in the TV. So, any other question? See, the way they are explaining, at the same time, a philosophical explanation, that also you have to keep in mind. There's some externally, it's just a war, and war between two brothers. It's very sad. But at the same time, we have to understand they may be brothers, they may be friends. But one is good, one is bad. One with the dharma, one is with adharma. So no compromise. So this answer we will get, and we will see the hero like Arjuna. He is breaking down. And our Lord, our God, encouraging him to fight. And some of the now the so-called civilized heart cannot understand this, or they cannot take it, and they always say, why Krishna encouraged Arjuna to kill so many people? Without understanding what is the dharma and what is adharma. So we will explain that. I think there is no other question. Okay, then we will just recite from here and then conclude. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rutra Maruta Stunnanti Dibbaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena manasa Pashyantiyam yogino Yasyantam nabidu Surasuragana Devaya tasmai namaha. Please remember, this Krishna who is standing over here with a flute, the personal God, the same Krishna with Sudarshan Chakra organizing a huge war to establish Dharma in Kurukshetra, and the same Krishna all pervading God without any form. So here, when we are finally offering our pranam, it goes to that God who has no form, who is all pervading. So this is the beauty of the Hinduism. Again and again we have to understand this. Hindu who is worshipping the images, Hindu who is worshipping the cow, tree, river, mountain, the same Hindu is telling, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. This is the whole gamut of Hinduism. I need not to follow the whole thing. Whatever I like, I will follow. But I know that the whole thing is there. When I am in the primary school, I should not say, this is the final. I know that there is university, and beyond university also, lot of knowledge. So I have to reach over there. And this is the Hinduism. So Gita that we are studying is the core of Hinduism. So we have to keep in mind. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.